Today's training will focus on the Aloha Takeout front of house basics. We'll be navigating the Aloha Takeout interface, placing orders, call-in, curbside, and future, editing guest information, amongst other functions. Thanks for joining us. Let's get started. First, we'll enter our employee number on the employee login screen and say OK. This will take us to our floor plan screen, where we'll see the new buttons for Start Phone Order and Access Pay Phone Order in the upper right of our floor plan screen. We'll begin today by starting a phone order. This takes us to the Aloha Takeout home screen on the Customer Lookup tab. Let's explore the home screen. Across the top of the home screen, we have metrics for current all-day orders for delivery, walk-in, and call-in orders. We have a current quote time for delivery, walk-in, and call-in orders. And we can adjust quote times by clicking the Adjust Quote Time button, which we'll explore later in our training. In the far right of the screen, we can see the current date and time. We have an Aloha button, which would take us back to the Aloha Manager interface. We're currently on the Lookup button, which would allow us to look up a customer's information both by phone number and or name. We can see here that there is a keyboard we can click, and that would let us enter the customer's information, and we could search them by name. If you want to exit this screen, you have to click the Clear button. Once we're back out here, we can see that we can look at pickup orders upcoming, future orders upcoming, or we could log out of the screen. We can see that customer information will populate in the gray portion of the screen as we enter the information, and we have the ability in the lower right to add a guest or edit guest details. Once we populate a guest's information, and we'll start with a phone number, we'll see that the guest with the number 303 in their phone number will populate in the gray area below. 5 guests have been found with 303. If we find the guest is available, we can highlight them here, and that will give us the ability to start a call-in order, curbside order, catering order, a delayed or future order, or repeat the customer's last order. We can also see that we do have the ability to edit the guest details from here. Let's start placing some orders. We're going to start with a call-in order. So we're going to click from our Aloha floor plan screen, Start Phone Order. This takes us to our Customer Lookup tab and our Aloha Takeout home screen, where we can enter the customer's phone number, or we can also click the keyboard to search for them by name. Our customer in question, his name is Joe, and he's not sure if he's got a phone number stored on file, so we're going to go ahead and look him up by name. So I click the keyboard and I enter his name Joe, and you'll see it populate in the phone number box. It's important that we click the magnifying glass to search for any customers with Joe in the name. Now down below we can see that there's been one guest found with Joe in the name, and we've confirmed his phone number is correct, so we're going to go ahead and highlight him here, and on the right select Start Call-In. Back here now on the Aloha order entry screen, we're going to place Joe's order. He's going to have 2 Cokes, an appetizer, an order of mozzarella sticks. He wants a soup of the day bowl, and an entree, the chicken breast with steamed veggies. Now that we've got Joe's order placed, it's important to check over here in the order entry check that we've got everything ordered correctly. And in the lower right of the screen, we're going to come over here and click Save Phone Order and store this order. This is going to take us to the order confirmation screen. We can see here on the left side of the screen that Joe's order is the 2 Cokes, mozzarella sticks, a bowl of soup a day, and the chicken breast with steamed veggies. His total is $31.05. Joe has decided that he'll pay when he comes in, and he wants to pay with card, so for now we're going to flag this order with cash, and it's going to place it in our pickup order section. You can see that the screen did default here, and Joe's order is listed with his name, phone number, the status of his order, the total, and the promise time of 12:29. Let's continue placing different kinds of orders. Let's go back to the Customer Lookup screen, and the next customer is going to be looked up by phone number, as he does have information on file with us. So his number is 303-555-1234, and you can see that it pulls him right up here in the listing as guest found with the phone number listed, 303-555-1234, and this time we're going to start a curbside pickup order. Now this customer currently has information stored with us, so we can store their year, make, and model, so when they do pull up to the curb, we'll know exactly who we're looking for. Let's start this curbside order. Back into the Aloha order entry screen, this customer is going to have a Sprite, couple appetizers here. They're going to do a wings with some barbecue and ranch, an order of fried jalapenos, and a kids meal, the kids grilled cheese. Now that we've got all the items ordered, we're going to click in the lower right, Save Phone Order, as this time we've already flagged the order for the curbside pickup. Again, we're back in the order confirmation screen, confirming the order confirmation for the customer Richard. He has a Sprite with wings, barbecue, and ranch, with fried jalapenos and a kids grilled cheese. His subtotal, tax, and total listed here. And he actually is going to go ahead and pay with a credit card now, so we're going to go ahead and click credit. Now that we're in the enter payment information screen, we have the ability to enter the account number and expiration date for the card. This customer has been with us before, so we can see that we can use his credit card on file. It's important that we confirm that the customer wants to use his American Express with the last 4 digits of the card being 1005. The customer has confirmed this, so I click here and it will auto-populate the payment information in the boxes for me, although the numbers are encrypted, so we won't be able to see all the numbers, just the last 4 digits this time. Now we can say OK. Now you can see that this particular order is ready in the pickup area, and you can see that he's going to be driving his Ford Escape, which is black, and then we can look for his car for his curbside pickup when he pulls up. This time we'll enter a new customer's information. First, we'll start out by entering the customer's phone number. Once we've entered the phone number, the customer information box will auto-populate where we can then enter the name of the customer. This is going to be for Angie. Angie is going to go ahead and give us a bit of information about her year, make, and model of her vehicle. She's got a silver Honda Civic, and she's going to be doing a curbside pickup order. So we'll select curbside. That, of course, will take us to the Aloha order entry screen, where Angie is going to have a lemonade, an appetizer, the chips and guacamole, and she's also going to do a sandwich, the Reuben, with French fries. Now, of course, in the lower right, we'll click Save Phone Order. That's going to take us to the order confirmation screen, where we can see all the information about Angie's order. She's got the lemonade, chips and guac with the Reuben with French fries, her subtotal, tax, and total, her order mode information, curbside pickup with the promised time of 4:30, phone number, and the vehicle, make, model, and color. Now that we have that in there, we'll go ahead and click Cache to store the order in our pickup screen. We can then see Angie's order listed. Next, let's access and pay an existing phone order. From our floor plan screen, we're going to select Access Pay Phone Order. This will take us to the pickup screen where we can see all the orders that we have currently for pickup listed. This customer is Joe, so we're going to go ahead and highlight Joe's order. And this time we're going to go to Tender. Joe's decided he wants to pay with cash, so we should be familiar with this, but this is our Aloha Tender screen, and he is going to pay with exact cash of $31.05. So I'm going to hit exact dollar amount, and I'm going to close this check. That takes me back out here to the ATO home screen and lets me know if there was any change due for Joe. I'm going to say OK, and that'll finalize that order. Now that we're back at the ATO home screen, let's go to the Pickup tab. Richard has arrived to pick up his curbside pickup order. Let's go ahead and highlight his order. You can see we do get some options here on the right for order details, modify, picked up, print receipt, and notes. Let's go ahead and check out the order details area. Order details is going to give us good information about both the vehicle he's driving, the time he ordered the items and the promised time, his phone number and guest information, any notes for the order. And we can see here that we do have some payment actually being applied to the ticket. Another thing that you can consider on the right is there is a print chit option. This would not print another chit to the kitchen, although it would print a bag chit that you could staple to the bag for Richard. It's a nice option as well. We can see here that we can print a receipt We could cancel the check, which is going to be a managerial function, need to be approved by a manager, or it can be managed through the manager. The promise time is obviously probably irrelevant in this ticket's case, but we can adjust the promise time in some tickets should they be kind of in future order mode. We could add another payment, edit guest information, and select contact information, or go back to the main screen. In this case, we're going to go ahead and click Tender, and we're going to tender this transaction. One thing to consider is that there has been a tip added to this amount. We can adjust tips here just as a point of reference. We can highlight the payment in the payment screen and adjust. And then we're going to want to say OK, get to the tip line. And we can make the adjustment to the tip here if we need to. Or we can do that in the Aloha tip screen as well. We'll handle these tip transactions just the same as any other with Aloha Manager. So I'm going to go ahead and close this check for Richard. And that's going to take us back out here to the ATO home screen, where I can see that this order for Richard was finished. And I'll say OK. And I'm back again to the ATO home screen. Now let's talk about the repeat order function. We're going to start in the customer lookup screen in the ATO home screen. The customer's name is Patty, but she did give us a phone number as she has dined with us before. I'm going to enter the phone number here and then select Patty from the customer listed below. We know this is her number as we have confirmed. On the right, instead of hitting Start Call-In Order, we're going to come down to Repeat Order. Now we're in the Repeat Order Previous Order screen, and you can see Patty's previous orders here on the left side. She last ordered on March 19th, and this was what she had here: the Reuben, French fries, calamari, a Diet Coke, and a Dr. Pepper. And she wants to repeat this order, although she does want to make a slight modification to it and add a second order of calamari. So on the right side of the screen, we're going to go ahead and select Start Call-In Order. Okay, so we're back in the order entry screen, and we can see here that Patty's order populated here on the left side of the screen. It's a really great feature about the repeat order option. She had the Reuben French fries, calamari, a Diet Coke, and a Dr. Pepper. But on this order, she's asking if she can go ahead and add an extra order of calamari. She really liked it, and so we're going to throw that in there. And then the lower right of the screen, we're going to click Save Phone Order. This is going to take us back out to the order confirmation screen, where we can see Patty's order is referenced, and again with the subtotal, tax, and total here. And Patty did pay with cash last time, so we're going to go ahead and apply cash here in the lower left. And that's going to store that order back in our pickup area. Now Patty can choose to change that up if she wants to. We also see here that it looks like she did have a vehicle added to the information, so maybe she did a curbside pickup last time and is going to come do a pickup this time, but we do get good customer information listed here as well, including the name, phone number, and status of the order, total, etc. Next, we'll place a future order. Let's click on the Future Order tab. When we click on the Future Order tab, we have the ability to show the day, week, month, or the customer's future order options. So let's go ahead and just leave it on the day, because down here we can choose to select which day and date we want to have this order ready to go. So we'll go ahead and throw this in for Sunday, March 22nd, 2020. And now you can see here we can adjust the time frame for which it can be picked up by clicking the plus sign and determine the different time frames available. And then from here we can go ahead and highlight the time in question that's available, and we can on the right schedule the new order. Now we must select a customer to set the order for, so we can choose here to enter customer information, or we may need to enter a new customer. So this time we're going to add a new guest. So this is great because we get to enter a lot of customer information here. So this is going to be our customer. His name is Justin Time. So first name Justin, last name Time, phone number, email address is optional, and Aloha Loyalty ID is also an optional field. This would be a good time to enter that information should the customer have access to your loyalty program. You can also add guest notes here. It's important to know that these guest notes will show up on the chit in the kitchen and the guest check. So any guest notes put there are going to need to be kind of valid things, possibly the guest address and other information you want to enter, but just make sure it's valid. And we're going to go ahead and enter a car for Justin here because he's going to be doing a pickup. He's going to have a Chevy Tahoe black. Okay, so now we can say okay. Alright, so now that we've got Justin entered into the system, you can see here we're ready to create his order. Okay, so the delayed order information is going to store this order for the 22nd, Sunday, for 10 a.m. We can adjust this time here if we want to. This is a good time to adjust the time to when he's going to want to pick that up. And we'll go ahead and say this is a call-in order. This, of course, takes us to the Aloha order entry screen. And again, we're going to place the order for him here. He's going to have 2 Diet Cokes. He wants a side of steamed rice and the salmon entree with steamed veggies. So once the order's been placed, you can see it's listed here in pink, meaning that it's a future order. And we're going to go ahead and save the phone order in the lower right. And that's going to take us back out to the order confirmation. And again, we can see here we have a call-in order with the promise time 3/22 at 11:45 a.m. We have Justin's information here, including the subtotal and tax and total. And we're going to go ahead and click cash so we can store this order, and it can be picked up on the 22nd. Since we're on the topic of future orders, I always find it important for managers to check their upcoming future orders, or in the morning to check their future orders for a given day. If we click on the future order tab, we can come down here and we can select the days in question. So you can go ahead and go forward, and we'll just use our example from the 22nd here. And you can see our one order is listed between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. on Sunday, March 22nd. So if I were to click on that day, it's going to open it up to where I can see the orders from that day. Here's Justin's order. We can see that it's scheduled for pickup at 11:45 a.m. With a total of $27. So when I highlight the order here, you see I get a lot more options over here on the right side of the screen. So why don't we go ahead and drill down here and check out the order details. This again is going to give us good information about the order, that it's a call-in order, that it's in delay, and of course it's time ordered, release time, and promise time are listed. The guest notes and customer information is listed here, and you can see no payment has been currently applied to this ticket. So we might assume that this customer is going to pay when they come in, but we can of course add and store credit card information for customers. We've seen that before already today. On the right, we can print a chit. We talked about that. We could add notes to the order. We can also release the order now, or even add payment information should we have gathered that in between the time of adding the order into the system and now. We could also modify the order and continue to add to it. So you can see there's quite a bit of options for the order if it's in future state. If we click back here, it's going to take us back out to the screen where again we could sort the day, and we could choose to look in the future for different dates and just modify and check in on those future orders as needed. But it's a good way just to kind of see what you've got coming down the line as far as volume is concerned from your future orders. Alright, so let's head back over to the Pickup tab. Patty has arrived to pick up her order, and she is coming in here, so we're going to go ahead and tender this order. So she's going to be highlighted here in the gray area, and we're going to hit tender. Now, of course, we can apply the tender as she wants to pay it. She's going to pay with cash again, so we're going to hit exact cash and close the check. This is going to take us back into the ATO home screen and let us know that there's no change due for Patty. We can go ahead and say OK. And that's going to go ahead and finalize and close that ticket and take us back to the ATO home screen. Okay, so for our last order type, we're going to go ahead and enter a catering order for a familiar company called NCR. And so this time, instead of looking up a phone number, we're going to go ahead and hit the keyboard again and type in NCR and click on the magnifying glass. And of course, that's going to bring up any guests found with NCR in the name, which we only have the one. And on the right, we're going to go ahead and start a catering order. Now from here, we're not going to make this a very large catering, but we will bring up a few items to go ahead and load this up. So we're going to go ahead and choose our items in the Aloha order entry screen, of course. We'll say that they're going to take one of every appetizer that we offer. One more. Okay, we didn't mean to print the receipt. Now that we've got the order entered in, we're going to go over here on the right and save the phone order. And of course, that's going to take us to the order confirmation screen. And this is a good time to discuss changing up these order modes if we need to. This is going to be a catering order, so we're not going to change that, but we are going to adjust the promise time. So we're going to click on promise time, and we're going to move this to next Wednesday the 25th at 2 p.m. The prep time is going to actually be increased on this item to 60 minutes as it will be a larger order. Something to consider: if you're placing catering orders, you might need to increase that prep time. Now we're going to go ahead and say OK and send this in to the future orders for Wednesday the 25th at 2 p.m. with an extended prep time of 60 minutes. So I'll say OK, and you can see that that promise time has been adjusted there. And now for the payment information, we can go ahead and hit credit. And if there's credit information on the account, of course, we can choose to use the card prior, or we could enter new card information if we need to, and we could save that card information if we need to as well. So you can check the box here to save the customer's card information. As you can see, we've done a catering like this for them before, so we're going to go ahead and use the credit card on file, and we'll say OK. Now from here, we're back out to the pickup screen, and if we go to the future box, we can change this here to the 25th, where we then see our order. And you can see our NCR order here. If we highlight this order, we can go ahead and make any adjustments to it as needed. And we'll go ahead and do that this time. We're going to go ahead and go to Modify. We're going to go ahead and say yes there. We're not going to tender this. We're going to modify the order. And actually, we need to add a couple more things here. They wanted to add some of these specialty sides we have: some French fries, curly fries, mashed potatoes, and steamed veggies. Now we'll go ahead and go back down here to Save Phone Order. That's going to take us back out to the confirmation screen, where again we'll go ahead and hit Credit and OK. We know we got the payment information already stored on that particular order. And now we're back out here to the ATO home screen, and we can go back to the Lookup tab, and we're ready to start again. Well, just as we finalized placing that future order for NCR, they called back and wanted to adjust that time that they were going to pick it up. So let's go ahead and go back over to our future order screen. We're going to change this day, of course, to Wednesday the 25th. Find our order listed, highlight the order, and we're going to go ahead and edit delay. And we're going to go ahead and increase this up to 2:30 for NCR and say call in. And now that's been adjusted there. And we can go ahead and go back to the lookup screen, and we're all set. Now that we've covered the various order types, let's just go ahead and check out a few other functions I find are helpful. Well, we need to edit guest information. Sometimes we may have to do that for somebody. Maybe somebody's there to place another order and they want to add more information for themselves. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what we can do here. We could certainly search for that customer by name or number. And we'll go ahead and search for Patty again here. And now over here, we're going to go to guest details in the lower right. So you can see Patty is highlighted here, but if there was another guest within the name box that had the name Patty, you could go ahead and highlight the proper guest, and we're going to click guest details. Now this is a great opportunity to enter a lot of guest information for them. So you can see here that we have the first name. Maybe we want to enter a last name, so we'll go ahead and do that this time. We can see here there are some tabs across the top for home, office, notes about the customer. Remember, those notes are going to show on the chit for the kitchen and the guest check, so we want to make those notes classy and just make sure that we're not putting anything unusual in the note area. We can also put allergy information for the customer, so if they do have a dairy allergy or a soy allergy or a nut allergy or something like that, you can definitely add that in there for them. We can add relationship information. This is where we're going to add loyalty information. Remember, this is not the only area that you can do this. When you're entering customer information for the first time, you have that opportunity. But if they are part of your loyalty program, you'd want to enter that here. Let's see here, preferences would be another key piece here. We can see here if they prefer certain contact numbers, what payment information they have stored. So we can add and edit and store payment information here. And of course, the car information is definitely going to be helpful for anybody picking up orders with these curbside orders and things like that. It's great to know what vehicle you're looking for. And then again, another optional piece of information would be the email. So the more information you can gather, the better. I always like to point that out. So we'll go ahead and say OK here. And we've added and updated some information there for Patty in regards to some allergies. Now that we've edited the guest details, let's talk about adjusting our quote times. In the metrics across the top, there's a tab where we can adjust the quote time. So when we click on adjust quote time, it's going to show us our dashboard settings. Currently our call-in quote is 30 minutes, our current catering quote is 60 minutes, and our current default prep time is 45 minutes. And the message we're going to display, welcome to Aloha Takeout, is our current daily message. When we're going to adjust these catering and call-in quote times, we can adjust them in 5-minute increments both forward and backwards using the plus and minus signs. So if we do need to make any adjustments to these, you do it here, but again remember they are in 5-minute increments. But if we need to adjust the current default prep time, we can do this in minute increments. So 1-minute increments for this, and we can be a little more specific. Once we've made the adjustments we need, we'll say OK. From here, let's just touch on some other key points of interest within the ATO software. If we go to the Pickup tab, we can see here that we can sort these orders by promise time, customer name, phone number. We can show all the orders, open orders, closed orders, and future orders. So some available sorting functions here across the top. That's going to modify what you see in the gray area for all your different types of orders you have. In the future order area, just remember that you can change the dates. You can do a week view, month view, and a customer view to see specific customer information. Going back out here to our customer lookup screen, just remember we can search for customers by phone number and by name. So if they are in the system, you should be able to find them pretty quickly and pretty easily. The last thing we need to cover today is that we can get back out to our Aloha floor plan screen by clicking the Aloha button in the upper left of the Aloha Takeout home screen. When I click Aloha, this takes me back out to the Aloha floor plan screen where I could then start a new table. I could start a phone order, access or pay an existing phone order, go to the Working with Tables screen to manage other functions. And if you have interest in learning more about the Aloha Takeout front of house software, I recommend checking out the Aloha Takeout Quick Reference Guide. It can be accessed through ncr.com or by reaching out to your local account representative. I thank you for taking the class with me today, and I wish you the best of luck using the Aloha Takeout software. Have a great day.